Okay, we're good. So that's Twilight. Oh, here. Is this on? That's Twilight. It's one of my pieces that I wrote in 2020, part of some songs. What were they called? Songs from Home. So here we are at Guitar Solo in San Francisco, um, and just in the store, surrounded by guitars and all of this stuff. And it's great to be here. I guess we had the technique is working okay now. Yeah, so we got a little delay there, but I don't understand how any of this works. It's a good thing these guys are doing it, not me. But my name's Kenny Hill. I'm a guitar maker. That's what my career has been, and that's what I do for a day job. But I got into composing, and so I've written over the last couple of years a bunch of music, and this is the first time that I'm getting the opportunity to actually like share it all at once in one place at one time. So, it's been sort of coming out in drips and drabs, but it's been an interesting process. Let me show you something. Let's see. I don't know. There's the camera. Anyway, I was able to get these things published this year. So that's what I'm doing is playing these 3 books of published material. It's kind of crazy because I'm supposed to be a guitar maker and you're not supposed to do this. But I brought this stuff too because it's funny to look at. This is the scores that came out of that. So this is like 2 years work, not every hour of every day, but it was an adventure. So when the lockdown came in 2020, like March or April or so, I sat around on the couch for 3 weeks probably. Thought, well, I'd been wanting to get back to composing. When I was a kid, when I was in my 20s, and first starting to learn to play classical guitar, I did some composing at the time. It just seemed natural. It seemed like no problem. Why wouldn't you? But then as I got farther into it and had to learn repertoire, I set that aside and kept thinking, so that's the 70s, and now what we are in the next century. I kept thinking, well, I'll get around to it. And so it took the pandemic to get around to it for me, really. Um, but the first piece that I did after that is Twilight was, I think, the second piece, and I just did that as it was a reflection of the sounds that I would hear in my backyard where I was spending a lot more time. But this next piece is called Solitaire, and this was the first one that I used to kind of break the spell of not writing anything and then all of a sudden having time on my hands and the opportunity and just the signal, if nothing else. If you're going to do it, you better do it now because time's a wasting. Anyway, this is called Solitaire, kind of just a ballad. And I put it, I just one day sat on my kitchen table and wrote out the melody, and then every day or every twice a day or something, I'd come by and just add a few notes to it till it was done. This is called Solitaire. Now, then, I actually kind of liked being locked down, I guess. That's another story. That solitaire, I dedicated that to my wife, Roberta, at the time. We were living kind of far apart, and it was difficult to adjust to the whole idea and to start to take advantage of it. I remember it very well. But I kept writing music, still making guitars, all of that stuff. I'll talk about this guitar and some stuff in a little bit. But just before that, in 2018, I wrote this next piece. It's called Stolen Moments. And it was something that, so it predated that, the lockdown, but it was pivotal to getting started after having dropped the ambitions of composing. Just put it off for 50 years, 40 years, 50 years. That's crazy. But I was turning 70, and it's like, well, come on. But I remembered I had a conversation with composer Lou Harrison. He is great, famous composer who lived in my neighborhood, and I was around him and involved, in concerts and kind of friends with him. But I asked him once in an interview, like, how did he write so much music? Why was he so prolific? And where did he find the time to write all of that music? And he said, oh, there's no time. There's only stolen moments. And I got it. It's like, if you wait for it to happen, it may not happen. And so that's what this piece is called. And it was kind of saying, okay, let's go. Take it while you can. There's actually 3 movements to this piece, but I'm going to just play this first movement first. Okay, that's Stolen Moments. Now, there's two more movements, and I'm going to play them. The next one really did come out of that period again, and of being at home, but it got crazy. This is a slow movement, and I feel sort of sorry for slow movements because people get restless and bored, and maybe they're even harder to play sometimes, like this time. But this is called Blindness, and sort of, you know, and I live down near Santa Cruz, about an hour and a half from here. But in August of 2020, the CZU fire broke open, and it was August 15th, actually. There was a big lightning storm, something that I've never seen. I've lived in this area my whole life. I've never seen anything like it. The middle of the night, and we didn't know what had happened for a day or so, and that's that like 100 fires were lit by lightning. And all I knew is the power was out, and the weather was very weird. But it was just that day, while waiting and discovering what was going on, that I wrote this piece of music. This is the second movement of this suite, and well, I'll play it. You'll notice this is a funny tuning. I've got a capo on, 5 strings. It gives a peculiar sound. It's nice, it's fun. But this is called Blindness. I'm just going to turn over and read it because it's a little hard to memorize for sure. Okay, that was Canary Jig. That just stole kind of a pop tune from the 17th century to get started with that. The other piece was so morose and dark, I had to have something more fun to play with. And that was kind of all derived from this funny tuning. The guitar's still tuned the same, but you put the capo on 5 strings and then play in the key of C. It's fun. It's got a nice kind of elfin resonance to it. So then I got to get back to writing music. I wrote most of the stuff that I'm playing in just those 2 years, finished up in December or so. So the last thing that I had done for a while, and then I swore off composing for a little while because I needed to get all this stuff together. Needed to get the publication and get things printed and put it out there and stuff. So I kind of gave myself a deliberate hiatus. And this is nice that I'm getting to play it all in one place so that I can move on. But in June, then I did come up with another little piece, just the beginning of something that's I've already started on another movement to this, but this was just, it started out simple, it got harder. So this is very new. I really have to read this, and I don't promise to play it perfectly, but I'll try. It's a barcarolle, and it's just supposed to start. A barcarolle is like a rowing song. And this has got, starts out with 2 against 3 counting, but then it goes into 4 against 3, and it's my fault. But I kind of love the results. that piece coming. I'm not going to even tease it. But see, that's another case of tuning the guitar. And if you do a bunch of different tunings, then you're never in tune. Nylon strings are that way. So yeah, we set up this thing. These comments are here. Look at this. Oh man, there's a bunch of them. Rachel said the audio's low. It's probably clicks and pops. Some stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna. There's Michael Partington. There's a bunch of people. Oh, I just love this. To see all the people who are here. That's really surprising. Evan. Okay, the sound is getting better. Can you see the comments? Are you adjusting according to them? Ah, good. See, we're playing here in kind of not a vacuum, but kind of sensory deprivation. But that's nice. Thanks everybody for being here. This is really interesting. So yeah, I'm a guitar maker. I'm not supposed to have done this, or I'm not supposed to do this. I'm supposed to stay in my lane. But I'm also getting old enough that I just kind of stopped worrying about stuff like that. And it's been really nice. Oh, still more tuning. To have this new thing. Who was it? John Paul Trotter asked me, he said, well, don't you wish you'd stuck with it when you were younger? And you'd be so good by now. It's kind of like, well, you never know, but no, I don't wish that, because I get to like discover it now. And this is a good time to discover something. I mean, I still love making guitars and, participating in guitar making. So just let me be a little bit discursive about this particular guitar. You can see that I play with a strap, and that's just my own thing. But this guitar here is pretty recent. It's probably less than 2 months old, strung up around that. But this is from a model that I call the Legacy model. And the reason is that it's got all of this crazy stuff that have been piling up over the last few decades, and it's all going into one place. Now the Legacy, is this what I'm going to leave behind as a design adventure or whatever? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm going to have any more ideas. There's lots of ideas that I've tried over the years as a guitar maker and guitar designer. Some of them stick, some of them don't. I mean, there's probably more that don't than do. But in this particular guitar, I'm not sure how it's going to come out from Mr. Camera there. But, well, there's 3 layers of, I'd say, experimentation or innovation or exploration that are on this. First is the acoustic, sound production. And these are things that depart from 20th century guitar making, 19th/20th century traditional guitar making. I started on that sort of detour, deviation, probably in the late 90s. But for the acoustically, I mean, this has got a double top. It's lattice braced. It's got these sound ports. Let's see, what else? The elevated fingerboard. These are all things that, although at certain times in the last 20, 30 years, they've been adventurous, but so many people have adopted various parts of this, the double top and the elevated fingerboard, that it's almost like it's normal now. Let's say it's kind of normal. But in terms of experimentation, there's the acoustic design. Then I got involved in the ergonomic design, how to make it fit and play and feel better and hold your shoulder in the right place. probably not very evident here, but the body is tapered this way somewhat, so that when it goes into your embrace, it just falls back like this. And I kind of worked on that first because of this strap thing. I was just so sick of footstools and the weird other devices that you hold the guitar up with, and my back was killing me. And I just first put a strap buttons on my old guitar, but then I started tweaking the body so that it would work better with a strap. But it turns out it works better. All of these things work better with any kind of support that you have, whether it's a footstool or a device. Now see, also there's this big old armrest cutoff here. That changes your arm position, and it's not that it just doesn't hurt your forearm anymore because the sharp edge is gone, but it changes your shoulder position. And so combined with the way the body fits, it's like, well, this is getting better and better, more comfortable. Now also there's this weird thing that you can probably see here. One day I was noticing after practicing a lot that my sternum was hurting me, and I finally found out what to blame. It was this corner here, so I went to the bandsaw and cut it off and patched it up, and no more hurt sternum. So it all just kind of goes into settling this instrument here. Playing with a strap, I don't know if you had to play virtuoso music up here, would it be harder? I think you get used to it. I'm not a virtuoso, never will be, so I'm not worried about those edges of technique, the frontiers of technique, because I'll never get even close to that. But I do appreciate the fact that the instrument is more and more comfortable to play, because I still play a lot, still play at least a couple hours a day, and I've been doing it for a long time. So it's nice, and I sort of wonder if I'd had a guitar like this when I started 50 years ago, would some of the aches and pains that go along with 50 years of playing not have developed? I don't know. Somebody else can figure that out. Oh yeah, and so there's the acoustic development, which I'm not trying to make another instrument. I'm not trying to make it into a dobro or a trumpet or a piano. I just like to have volume and some beautiful tone and dynamic range, and I think that some of these things, the double top and the ports and stuff like that, do help that without changing the basic character of the guitar. But so there's acoustic, there's the ergonomic, which is about comfort and postural health, and then more or less lately there's intonation. So you can't help but see it, that these frets are kind of crooked, some more than others. And this is from a system called True Temperament, developed by a man named Anders Tidell in Sweden. And it took me a while to try it out, and then when I tried it out, it took me a while to try it again, because the first time I didn't want it to be as cool as it is, because it's kind of an extra hassle. But it is, and it's really been, I've gotten used to it, and of course, you know, the guitar is wonderful as it's been for the last 150 years, but people complain about it not being in tune, really. Now you adjust your ears to it, that's cool. I can do it. I'm perfectly happy with straight frets, but I am also even more perfectly happy with these frets that are essentially compensating each note over the whole surface of the fingerboard instead of just like the octaves or something. So this brings the guitar more nicely into equal temperament tuning. It's not trying to be something else, not mean tone or just temperament or anything like that, or some mode. It's just trying to make it more equally tempered, and I think it works quite a bit. It's a subtle thing. It'd be hard to do a blind test and really know the difference, but when you get used to playing it, it's lovely. I don't think there's anything else to say about this guitar. The next set of 3 pieces is the most recent thing that I wrote, aside from that Barker roll that I just played. I wanted to write something with drop D tuning, and something with some strumming. And so I wanted to do that, but I had some, anyway, I wrote this, the second movement first, the third movement second, and the first movement I wrote third. Not that it matters so much. But there's a prelude and then 2 movements called Lost and Found. I love these comments. There's so many. I don't want to get too sidetracked here. It's really interesting. Oh, but I do want to mention that I think that there's a scroll or something underneath it about donations. So sure, this is, please, if you feel like it, if you're interested, please contribute to, it's either through PayPal or Venmo at GSP, or send it to gsp@gspguitar.com. Any proceeds that come in are split between the house and myself, and I'm sure we both can appreciate it. There's actually, a fair amount of effort has gone into just this hour of music here on both of our parts. So that was Lost and Found with a prelude. Yeah, so these things are all published, except for the Barcarolle, not yet, but and all available here at GSP, I guess, by mail or by walking in the store, I guess. It's a lot of notes. So it's been really great. I really feel honored to be able to do this here. I couldn't have done it on my own, that's for sure. And just it's fun to play all this stuff. I'll get better. I mean, it's hard to do, but I played actually that last suite for a very well-known and very fantastic guitarist. I had a private lesson with her maybe 2 months ago, and I played okay. Anyway, but just trying to share the music, and I won't mention her name, but she said when I was done, she said, "Well, you played very well." I said, "But I'd love to hear this music played by somebody really good." And I said, "Me too." Yes, me too. So if anybody who's really, I don't care if you're really good or not, but I'd love to share the music with people. You know, I've discovered that learning to play it and, you know, bringing it up to whatever performance level such as it is, it's a lot of work, and it actually takes more time than composing the music itself. So I really want to write more stuff. I've got a bunch of ideas and things, and it's hard, but then anybody, I want to share it. I want other people to play it too, not just me, because I'm not getting any younger, and the music, I just hope it appeals to people. I'm going to close it with a piece that I wrote for my youngest son and his wife's wedding, which happened, I guess it was in June of 2021, so a little over a year ago. It's a wedding song, and it's very poignant now because little did they know, did any of us know, what kind of challenges that the next year now would bring. And there are two people who, both individually and collectively, are so generous and capable that, well, anyway, this is still their song. So thank you everybody who's watching, and thank you to Dean and Son for inviting me here and doing all the hard work to make this happen. It's nice. Glad we got to do it. Really glad we got to do it. So I love the comments. I will, I don't know, there may be a way to get back to you individually. I'll scroll through it later. It's always so boring to see somebody scroll through a device, so I don't want to torture you with that. But thank you, everyone. It's been really, really fun. It was fun to prepare it and see what happens next. Thank you.